I'm so glad to see you guys virtually, see you guys. This subject actually came from one of my coworkers. Um, I've known about the love languages for almost 10 years now. Um, and so I've kind of read about it, researched it a little bit. But one of my coworkers, we were talking about me getting the schedule together, and she was just like, "Is anybody doing a love language class?" And I was like, "No, I don't think so." I was like, "Do you want to do it?" She was like, "No." Which is perfectly fine because I went ahead and put a little something together for you guys. So, like I said, it's not going to be a very long class. I will do my best to go into the chat box every once in a while to see if there's any comments or questions. But for right now, let's go ahead and get started talking about the love languages. As you can see on this title card, it actually stems from a book called The Five Love Languages, and it was written by Dr. Gary Chapman. And let's see, is my laptop on a delay? Well, it might be on a delay. Did y'all see anything move? There we go. All right, so once again, Dr. Gary Chapman, he is a marriage counselor. He was practicing with seeing patients and seeing married couples, and he realized a pattern. One spouse would say, I don't know what to do. They just don't, it doesn't seem like they love me. And then the other spouse is like, I'm doing everything I can to show them that I love them. I don't understand why they don't see that I care and that I love them. And what Dr. Gary Chapman was realizing is that, okay, so on one hand, you have one person saying they're not showing that they love me. And then on the other hand, you have the person saying, I'm doing all I can to show. So then Dr. Gary Chapman started keeping notes. Well, how is this person showing that they love the other person? Or how is this person receiving love or care? And so that's when his wheels started turning, Dr. Gary Chapman, and he's just like, oh, it looks as if there are ways to give and receive love in these different areas that all kind of match up and all kind of align with these different areas. Communication is very important in any relationship. And so he started realizing it's a miscommunication of love languages. Let me see if this is gonna go with me. I don't know what's going on with this page turning. Well, let's try it one more time. There we go. Ooh, boom. So here are the types of love languages. You actually might be able to tell what you are just from the wording, but we'll get into specifics momentarily. So the 5 love languages that Dr. Chapman found out based off of his research is we've got words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. And before we go on to delve deeper, this is where you can take the test to find out which love language is yours, which way you like to receive and or give love. So if you go to 5lovelanguages.com/quizzes, that's where you can go to actually take a test. And I wanted you to see this. This is a screenshot from the actual website. Love languages, I'm going to give you a little hint, is not just relegated to romantic relationships. So as you can see on this page, there's a couples quiz, so people in a romantic relationship. There's a children's quiz, if you see in the little green area. So guess what? Your kids, they have a love language too. In the little brownish, tannish area is the teens. Because once again, your kids have love languages. Some parents maybe don't want to acknowledge that. and they expect their kids to be just like them. Your kids are their own individual people and they have their own love languages as well. And then, as you can see in the little reddish area, is the singles quiz. So even if you're not in a romantic relationship, knowing what your love language can assist in other relationships. And we'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end as well. So let's do a non-scientific test to find out what your love language is, as well as to talk about the different areas. Once again, I want you to go to that website, 5lovelanguages.com, and you'll see it pop up again in case you didn't write it down. But I do, after this class, at some point, I want you to take the love language test and send me an email. It's always fun to hear what other people have as their love language. So, answer this, if you will, in your head. You don't have to use the chat box or anything. I love it when my spouse or partner gives me a compliment about my outfit. So you done took the time to get ready, get your hair done, earrings, makeup, whatever it is you're doing, and you walk out into the other room and your spouse or partner is like, you look good. Does that make you happy? Does that kind of give you a little blush of joy? The second one, if someone gives me a card or a letter telling me why I matter to them, it makes my entire day. I actually am kind of telling on myself a little bit, but right here next to my work from home office, I've got stamps. As you can see, I only have one stamp left because I've been using them a lot. I've got stickers with my return address. I've got cards. I literally have everything over here because I like to send letters. Like, look, I've just got cards over here for future use. So if you're the type of person who beams when you receive a letter or a card from somebody and you keep them, maybe this one's for you. The third one, when strangers give me a compliment, it gives me a boost of energy. You walking down the street, minding your business, and somebody's like, hey, boo, you look cute. If that brings an instant smile to your face, then it's possible words of affirmation is your love language, okay? So with words of affirmation, it says, if this is your love language, unsolicited compliments mean the world to you. So not, honey, do you like this outfit? No. If it just comes straight out their mouth without you having to ask for it, that might be your love language. It says, hearing the words I love you is important. Hearing the reasons behind the love sends your spirits skyward. So if somebody says, I like you, you're dope, that feels nice. But if they say, I like you, you're dope, you're funny, you're pretty, you're witty, you're smart, or, that's what makes your heart tingle and get nice warm fuzzies, right? It says insults can leave you shattered and are not easily forgotten. So if words of affirmation is your love language, then harsh words can hit you and bring you down. It says you thrive on hearing kind and encouraging words that build you up. So some of you may now know that your love language could be words of affirmation. Let's go to another one. Words of affirmation doesn't really sound like you. You're like, nah, that's not really for me. Let's see what the next section is talking about. If it'll let me, there we go. All right. So maybe this one's more your type. After a long day, it's nice to come home and the dishes are already done. You didn't have to ask, you didn't have to threaten, you didn't have to cajole. You just come home and it's the kitchen is sparkling clean. Or maybe, you have to get up early in the morning because your gas tank is on E, and you realize your partner's already put gas in your tank. Like, isn't that nice? Like, you don't have to get up extra early to go. You don't have to touch the nasty little thing and get out. Like, it's already done for you. Or maybe this third scenario, if I am overwhelmed with work or a class project, and my partner or spouse is aware and they're like, you know what, baby, I got dinner. Don't you worry about it. You just take care of work or class or whatever it is. If these three scenarios are like, y'all, that's me, well, acts of service just might be your love language. So it says, can helping with homework really be an expression of love? Yes. Anything that is done for you to ease the burden of your responsibilities basically means acts of service is for you. So I remember I dated this guy years ago, and we had a miscommunication on love languages. And clearly, acts of service is not my love language. Because I'd be like, you don't care. Like, I can't. And he's like, what you mean? I mowed the lawn and I did the dishwasher and I unloaded it. For him, acts of service was everything. And for me, I was like, I need to hear it. So acts of service can totally be a love language if that's the way that you receive it. So just be mindful. And mind you, we are going to talk about this as well. You can be in a relationship with somebody that has different love languages, but we'll talk about that. So acts of service, somebody is doing things for you to ease your burdens. All right, so maybe words of affirmation isn't for you. Maybe acts of service isn't for you. Let's try this one on for size. My partner's spouse went on a trip and brought back a souvenir for me based on the things that I like. So let's say your spouse or partner had to go on a work trip and then they come back and they give you something. Let's say you like, I don't know, narwhals, you know, the little fish thing with the unicorn tusk. And let's say they go on a work trip and they come back with a little plush narwhal for you or a keychain or something. Second little scenario, my partner's spouse went into a convenience store and grabbed my favorite snack, even though I didn't ask them to. So you're getting gas, your boo thing pumps the gas, goes inside to grab something, and comes back out with a drink for himself or herself and a little snacky snack for you. You didn't say, bring me back this. Can you get this? No, they knew, one, that you liked the snack, and two, they were like, let me do something nice for this person, right? The third scenario, I talked about an item in my Amazon cart and my spouse or partner purchased it for me. So I don't know about y'all, but I have a whole bunch of stuff sitting in my Amazon cart for future purchase. Sometimes you have to think about it. Sometimes you're like, ooh, let me save up for that. So imagine if you have the stuff in your cart and one day it shows up and your spouse or partner is like, oh yeah, I saw it was sitting in there for a while, so I went ahead and just got it for you. If these things make you warm and fuzzy inside, then receiving gifts could be your love language. Let me say this from the jump. It is not a materialistic thing. Somebody who has receiving gifts for love languages, it has nothing to do with the amount that the gift costs. What matters is the fact that somebody thought about you, knew this was something you'd like, and they got it for you. And so actually, well, that's actually what this says on the screen. Do not mistake it for materialism. It's the love, thoughtfulness, and effort behind the gift. If you speak this love language, the perfect gift or gesture shows that you are known, you are cared for, and you are prized above whatever was sacrificed to bring the gift to you. So somebody that misses your birthday, or if they just get you a gift card from like Quick Trip and you're like, I don't even get my gas at Quick Trip. So if somebody does something hasty and not thoughtful, then you're not going to like the gift. You want a gift that shows that somebody cares. So for example, receiving gifts is one of my love languages. I have 3. It's weird. I'm a weirdo. I literally have a 3-way tie every time I take the test. And gifts is one of my love languages. And I have said to so many people, like, I don't want a $10,000 purse. Like, that means nothing to me. If somebody is walking down the street and they look down and they see a rock in the shape of a heart and it's blue or teal, and they give that to me, that would be so much more meaningful than $100 gift card to Lush. One, because hearts mean the world to me, and blue and teal are some of my favorite colors. So if somebody saw that and thought of me and brought it to me, that means so much more than a $10,000 purse that I'm just going to look at and not appreciate. So we've talked about words of affirmation, we've talked about acts of service, and now we've talked about gifts. Let's see. It's possible somebody's listening and they're like, no, none of that does it for me. So let's see if this one does. Going on a walk with my spouse or partner with no distractions makes me happy. So no smartphones, no tablets, like just you and that person walking and talking, right? I get frustrated if I try to talk to my spouse partner about my day, but they are not paying attention. Imagine if you have something serious that you want to say, and this is all you see. Yeah. You're not being paying attention. They're not paying attention to you. They're not giving you their time, right? The third one says, it hurts my feelings if my partner's spouse cancels a planned event with me for no reason. So it's not like, oh, something came up at work or, you know, an emergency happened with my family. No, it's just, oh, nah, I would just rather watch TV. Nah, I'm on Instagram. I'd rather do that. If that would hurt your feelings, that somebody would cancel on you for no reason, then it's possible. If any of these things kind of hit your spidey senses, it's possible that quality time is your love language. It says, in quality time, nothing says I love you like full, undivided attention. Being there for this type of person is critical, but really being there with the TV off, fork and knife down, all the chores and tasks on standby, and just you and this person interacting, talking, cuddling, like just you and that person one-on-one, then quality time is probably your love language. It says whether it's spending uninterrupted time talking or doing activities together, you can have quality time and be doing some similar activities. You can be going for a walk or playing frisbee or putt golf, but just something that you guys are doing together with both people paying attention to each other in that space. I will say there's this game on the phone that I used to do with a guy I was dating. Like, you know, you go to a restaurant and there's wait time, you know, before you can get your table or whatever. There's a game called Heads Up. And so we used to do, that was our quality time before we ate, was playing Heads Up, and they had to guess what was on the screen. Well, they had to give me items for me to guess what was on the screen because I couldn't see it. So quality time can include a phone if that is what the activity is that's being done. So that's quality time. So words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, quality time. It is so possible that somebody out there is like, none of those do it for me. I'm not feeling it. I don't, none of those. So let's see if the final one is what you're looking for. So I love holding hands with my partner's spouse, whether it's sitting on the couch, whether it's walking or driving in the car. I love holding hands with my partner's spouse. 2, when my spouse partner walks by and touches my shoulder or rubs my face, I'm happy. 3, hugging someone I love or care about makes my day better. So you probably could guess from the different scenarios, but this one has to do with physical touch. Now, every time I have talked about love languages with people and I get to physical touch, every single time, oh, that's my husband, that's his love language. Take out sex. Take sex out of the equation. And now let's talk about physical touch, okay? So if sex is off the table, sex has I know it's going to sound weird. Sex has nothing to do with physical touch. That sounds weird. But in this scenario, when it comes to love languages, sex is off the table. So let's talk about what physical touch is. A person whose primary love language is physical touch is someone that's very, very touchy. I don't know if you guys know. Well, I try not to touch y'all too much because it is a work relationship, but I will be the one to touch somebody's shoulder walking by, rub their back, give them a hug if they want to initiate it. It says here, hugs, pats on the back, thoughtful touches on the arm. That's everything that I do because physical touch is one of my love languages. But this is how I give and receive love, one of my three-way tie. Physical presence and accessibility are crucial, while neglect or abuse can be unforgivable and destructive. Appropriate and timely touches communicate warmth, safety, and love to you. So one of my, I don't know about y'all, but I have a list of what I want in a romantic partner. And one of the things that I have listed is I want to feel protected. And for me, protection is not just a financial protection, but like a physical, I got your back, you know? And so for me, physical touch makes me feel protected. So those are the 5 love languages: words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Now, if none of those tingled your little spidey senses, well, you are a rare unicorn, and that's okay. So the reason that this slide is on here is to talk about relationship types. I said it a little bit earlier. Love languages are not just for romantic partners. So as you can see, I'm assuming this is a mother and daughter, whether it's a teenage daughter or whether it's a young adult and a middle-aged mom, but this is a mom and daughter. Like, they have love languages in which they receive and give love. And if you don't realize it, that can cause a lot of hurt feelings and miscommunication when mom thinks she's showing love to her daughter by always doing stuff. And daughter's just like, I just want you to hug me, right? Right here, we've got, we'll say that these are friends and sisters. So love languages in the way you talk to your friend or the way you should give gifts to your friends, all that matters. So that's what we're going to say this is sisters and friends. So right here, we've got grandparents, a daughter, and a granddaughter. Love languages matter here as well. I am going to throw one little caveat out here about autonomy of self. So a lot of times when we're in a generational home or a grandchild sees a grandparent for the first time in a while, and the child might be a little bit scared, and mom and dad are like, you better go hug your grandmama. And the child's like, no, I would like you guys to consider allowing the child to say no and not making them hug their grandparents. You as an adult don't want to be forced into hugging anybody. So maybe extend some of that grace to your child as well. Because sometimes life can be scary. Of course, you know that it's the child's grandparents, but children are allowed to be scared sometimes. So that's my little soapbox. I'm going to get off of it right now. Let's go right here. This is dad and daughter. Once again, love languages matter. If daughter just wants, a thoughtful gift, and dad is just like, oh, I stopped at the gas station on the way home. I forgot it was your birthday. I got you a gift card. Like, you got to be able to meet people where they are for their love languages. And the test is really, really fast. It's under 10 minutes. Right here, we've got a family, got a daddy, a mom, and 2 kids. Once again, everybody in this family could have a different love language. The key, and right here, we've got a dad and a child again. The key is It's not that you have to have the same love languages. It's the fact that you have to be willing to show love in the way that the other person needs. So you can be a physical toucher in a relationship with an active servicer. Y'all can have a compatible relationship as long as the toucher is willing to meet the servicer where they are, and the active servicer is willing to meet the physical toucher where they are. It's not always easy. Some of my friends are not touchers, but they've gotten used to my little pats on the shoulder or pat on the back. And I get a hug every time I see them, even though they might not be the biggest hugger. They know that I love it, so they will give me a hug. It's all about compromise, right? It's all about compromise. So, yes, you can have a healthy, thriving relationship, even if your love languages are different. So once again, I want you to go to 5lovelanguages.com. There's a wealth of information there, not just the quizzes. Of course, you know, it's a business, so they have lots of books and whatnot. You do not have to purchase anything. The love language test is completely free. And the love language test is at 5lovelanguages.com/quizzes. So that is it as far as love languages are concerned. You're welcome to put any questions, comments in the chat box. You can also take the quiz. I think I showed it on one of these pages. So you can take the quiz for your child. So let's say your child is 5, 6, 7 years old and they don't really, you know, understand how to take the test. You can take it for them and you can change the questions into something that they would be able to understand. So yeah, go ahead and take some of the quizzes and see what it's like. You know, oh man, I don't have a great relationship with my dad. Let me see if we have separate love languages. Or oh man, I want to have a better relationship with my cousin. We were favorite cousins growing up and now we're a little bit strained. See if it's the love language. Let's see, we got another three-way tie. Okay. We got words of affirmation, quality time, and touch from Jennifer. So thank y'all so much for sharing that. Just over the next week, just start thinking, oh, they just brought me a plate. They're doing an act of service to show that they love me. Or, ooh, you know what? I think my husband likes quality time. Let me put my phone down and just go chat with him and let's see what happens. So just start thinking like, oh, they're showing me all the time. Maybe I just wasn't seeing it, right? I am so, so grateful that you guys are here. Once again, the website is 5lovelanguages. Thank y'all so much for putting your email in the chat box so I could keep track of everybody's attendance. I'm so glad y'all went and spent some time with me today. I told you it was going to be short because I know y'all have stuff to do, but I love you. You're worthy. I love you guys. You're worthy. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you on Thursday. Love you. Bye.